Follow protocol, blood. Get in a fucking chest, nigga. We the fucking mob, nigga. These niggas bleed different. We don't bleed, nigga. We make niggas bleed, blood. Treyway.
These niggas said it hurt me, I ain't heard you. Get the fuck up on my fucking face before I murder you. Bitch niggas always jacking blood, but I know they fool. Whole squad full of fucking killers, I'm a killer too. Sending shots, nigga. Everybody get pop, nigga. The big ol' run, nigga. He sending shots, nigga. He 6'9" this and 6'9" that. Niggas on my dick and on my jack.
And hello, we are back with another banger. And we are going to get into it. And this is going to be about Ilhan Omar. But, bogus stuff my father has sent me. Because he is a super Democrat. And, this has the same thing when unarmed black people are killed by unalived cops. Shut the fuck up. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like, people don't say anything. You had a whole fucking movement about it. Oh, really? No one said anything? You only had a whole fucking movement about it called BLM, which was actually bullshit and a fake ass organization that didn't give a fuck about black people. But that was the organization that went out and protested and looted and did all kinds of shit when black people were shot by cops. And if you want to be statistics on it, actually, more white people get shot by cops than black people. So, just thought. Oh, wow. This is getting good. Like, you were 100% right. Where was this mass shooting? Hold on a second. Like, for real, this is getting out of control now. Anyway, so let's get back to Ilhan Omar. I got quite a few videos to show you on her. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna read you some stuff from uh, Donald Trump looking into her. Um, President Trump has suggested that the Democrat Department of Justice, the DOJ, is investigating the wealth of Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Administrative grapples with the fallout from the killing of the demonstrator Alex Freddie. The Republican president also on Monday said he was sending his Tom Homan to the state of Minnesota, which he's a good guy. And Obama actually gave him an award because he was very good at doing his job, which is dealing with ICE. Thomas Tough but fair. He reported to me directly. Trump wrote in social media posts separate from a major investigation is going on with respect to the massive $20 billion plus welfare fraud that has taken place in Minnesota and is at least partially responsible for the violent organized protests going on in the streets. Additionally, the DOJ and the Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell. Omar's net worth has increased into millions of dollars in recent years due to her husband's wealth, and Omar serves on the House of U.S. Representatives representing Minnesota. The Congresswoman hit back at Trump, accusing him of invoking her to distract from dwindling popularity. Sorry, Trump, your support is collapsing and you're panicking. Oh, yeah, right, because we're shaking in our boots. Uh, so, let's see what else we got here. Will you stop? I will sign it. Yes. Thank you. And then here, is it going to pop up? All right. So Trump, let's see. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance Monday signed an executive order to create a task force that aims to stop the nationwide fraud. Between feeding our future Somali run child care centers, autism and housing and stabilization programs schemes, during the signing, Trump went out of his way to criticize Minnesota's leadership when it comes to fraud. Trump says Minnesota taxpayers have lost as much as $19 billion due to fraud schemes. Former U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson said in 2025, the news conference is possible that the state has lost up to $9 billion during fraud. So far, hundreds of millions of dollars in the fraud cases have been investigated in court. Trump said Monday Governor Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar are all complicit in the ongoing fraud in Minnesota, singling out what was discovered in the Somali-run childcare. And that is 100% true because there's no way all this is going on and nobody doesn't know anything about it. So stop. When you look at the Minnesota scam, a lot of it has to do with Somalia. Nobody is calling anybody. out, but a lot of it is Somalia. I believe the governor is complicit. I believe Ilhan Omar is complicit. I believe your attorney general is complicit. If they are, you're going to hopefully find out about it and do what we have to do. If if we find half of the fraud that's been taking place in this country, we would have much more balanced budget, and theft is incredible. And then it has here Omar married her brother, supposedly. Why should you care? Trump has made it a habit of publicly attacking Omar, who represents Minnesota's 5th congressional district. Monday, Trump accused Omar of marrying her brother. Rumors have gone back several years, im- implying that Omar married her brother to obtain U.S. citizenship. Nasty, nasty. I hope this is a part of it, but she married her brother, supposedly. That means she's here illegally and she's a congresswoman. I hope you're going to be looking at that. She's one of the ringleaders. She's bad news. She's bad for our country, Trump said. Omar has held congressional seats since 2019 and has a verbal spat with Trump during the State of the Union address last month. Omar's guest was arrested during the speech for unlawful conduct and removed from chambers but never charged. Trump continued on his rant about the fraud in Minnesota, and Vance chimed in when the topic of Medicaid came up. They are accused Somalis of defrauding a Medicaid program where funds were supposed to go to children with autism. These are crooked people, they basically said. Everybody in the state has autism, Trump said. People come over from Somalia, they have no money, and now they're buying Mercedes cars. More cash goes out of Minnesota airport than any other place in the world. We're going to find it. Minnesota is really bad. The governor is corrupt. The attorney general is corrupt. And they're all corrupt. And we've got too many of them in our country. We have to expose. So we did that, that. Now I'm gonna play you some videos.
This incredible country, the United States of America. Ilhan Omar, the representative from Minnesota, who is actually here from Somalia by way of Sudan, instead of kissing the ground she walks on every day, thanking this great land for her freedom, her liberty, and her rights as a woman. No. Instead, she's spinning out of control. You see, she came here with nothing, yet somehow is worth $30 million now. And she also, I guess, can't prove that she gave her right birth date when she was naturalized, if she was. And then the whole marrying the brother thing is an issue. But when talking about this great land, remember, she is in the United States Congress, where she has said she's there to represent Somalia. I mean, she said she's doing the work for the Somalian people. She literally said that. I'm not making it up. This is what she calls the country that took her in. The one place where we thought we would never experience this is the U.S. goddamn states. The U.S. GD states? Really? That's the appreciation? I think she's spinning in place. I think she's scared to death because the walls are closing in. And we're going to find out exactly who this person is. And if she did anything illegal, and there's a lot of suggestions she did, she's probably going to have to face the... Did you see what she called it?
Okay, so there's that. And she thinks she is so fucking special. It is insane to me. I just don't even get it at all. I'm gonna go to this one.
Everybody's screaming, everyone's crying. What's the occasion? Well, Congresswoman Omar got voted off the Foreign Affairs Committee.
The question is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in favor say no. It's the opinion of It's the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it and the resolution is agreed to. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Does that remind you of anything? McCarthy yanked Omar off Foreign Affairs to pay back Pelosi for yanking his people off committees. He didn't want to do it, doesn't think it's right, but he had to do it. You can't let Democrats boot your boys off committees and turn the other cheek. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this.
They said it could never happen. They said she was untouchable, and then boom, the vote drops and Ilhan Omar is officially kicked off the Foreign Affairs Committee. The squad melts down. AOC starts shouting about racism, and suddenly accountability is white supremacy. We are asking the Federal Internal Revenue Service and the Minnesota Department of Revenue to review the tax filings of U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar on several grounds. I am joined by 9 Minnesota state representatives and making these requests, and I think there's 6 here today. These representatives include Glenn Gruenhagen of Galeno, Eric Lucero of Dayton, Shane Mecklin of Clear Lake, Tim Miller of Princeburg, Linda Runbeck of Circle Pines, Cal Barr of East Bethel, John Poston of Lakeshore, Dwayne Quam of Byron, and Jeremy M. Son of Lake Crystal. We are making this request on 3 direct grounds. First, Representative Omar improperly and deliberately filed for a tax status for which she was not qualified in a legal action in both federal and state law. The Minnesota Campaign Finance Board found on June 6th of this year that she illegally used campaign funds to pay a law firm to review her tax records. The Campaign Finance Board exposed crystal clear probable cause for tax fraud or tax evasion investigation when they discovered that Representative Omar filed as married and joint, and filing jointly with Mr.
Everybody's screaming, everyone's crying. What's the occasion? Well, Congresswoman.
Well, looks like it sucks to be her, guys. I don't know what to say about that, but looks like she has a little problem. Look, I don't like the bitch. The fact that she went from, being barely having any money to having fucking third being worth $30 million or whatever the fuck it was, that is just insane to me. And the fact that nobody figured it out, it took this long to figure it out that, 1 minute she's worth, barely nothing, and then she's worth $30 million. Something is going on there, something fishy, and it needs to be dealt with. She needs to be dealt with. And no, bitch, it has nothing to do, racism, white supremacy. Bitch, nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody gives a fuck about racism and all that shit anymore. Nobody cares. We have too much other stuff to care about. There is way too much other stuff going on than to care about somebody because of the color of their skin. You are not being judged about the color of your skin. You're being judged by the quality of your fucking character and the lying ass bullshit that comes out of your fucking mouth. So stop with the racism shit because it's old and tired and nobody wants to hear it anymore. Oh, everybody's so racist. Oh my God, so racist. You're racist against black people. You're racist against... Shut the fuck up. Nobody's racist against fucking anybody. If white people wanted to be racist against anybody, there wouldn't have been a black president. There wouldn't be a fucking Ilhan Omar sitting in fucking Congress. There wouldn't be black Republicans. There wouldn't be black Democrats. There wouldn't be black famous people like Denzel Washington and fucking sports figures and Jay-Z and P. Diddy. You think if white people wanted to hold fucking black people back, or any race for that matter, you think we would let them have the success that they have? Fuck no. Absolutely. So think about what you're saying. You think that with racism, we would let you guys move into our fucking neighborhoods? You think in a suburban neighborhood where there's all white people and you get a couple $1 million, you want to move out the hood? Why? Because you know the hood is ghetto as fuck. You don't want to get robbed or shot or fucking. You want your kids to go to a good school and all that shit. You're not getting that in the ghetto. So what do? The first thing you do when you get a good check, you bounce from the ghetto and you bounce from where the drugs are and you go move into a suburban ass neighborhood. And who's around you? Nothing but what, like Ice Cube said. What did you say? What the fuck was it? He said something. You moved out of the hood, to something not with not another nigga in sight. And he was talking about how Dre and all them fucking bought houses and they moved into white ass neighborhoods where there's not another black person on the fucking street. You think white people would let you move into their fucking neighborhoods? There was a time where if a black person stuck their foot into a pool where white people swam, that they would empty out the entire pool and scrub it because a black person put their toe in it. And that was actually Dorothy Dandridge that did that. But I know most of you don't know your history and don't fucking, do your due diligence, and you're not smart, and you fucking don't pay attention in school, and you don't watch movies, and you don't learn anything. But Dorothy Dandridge stuck her toe in a pool at a hotel where she was performing, which they made her get in a dressing room in a janitor's closet. And she stuck her toe in the pool, and they made the workers empty the entire pool and scrub it clean because she put her toe in it. Okay? That is racism. Nothing like that is going on right now. So cut the bullshit with the racism stuff. Shut the fuck up. No one cares about it. People care more about gas prices. People care more about their groceries going up. People care more about what's going on with the war. People care about what's coming out of their taxes. Nobody gives a fuck about your racist bullshit. The only people that say that shit are minorities. Oh, it's race. Oh, it's this. And guess what? Go and listen to some of my new shows, and you'll see who the real racists are. Because I have a bunch of Democrats being racist as fuck against fucking Mexican people, and I got them being racist towards black people, and yet you dumb motherfuckers still vote for them. Now that rant is over, here's some other.
Question is how. Here's what we know. Omar's husband, a former political consultant, owns a venture capital firm based in Washington, D.C., and a winery in California. Take a look at these numbers. In 2023, Omar disclosed a maximum of $50,000 in assets at the winery. The next year, Dana, that number increased to $5 million. Meanwhile, her husband's company, Rose Lake Capital, reported a maximum of $1,000 in assets in 2023. The next year, it was $25 million.
And before you ask, she did not drop a hit album. She's not playing point guard for the Timberwolves. She didn't invent the next TikTok. She is a congresswoman making a respectable $174,000 a year. I think most people would love to make that kind of money. But the math is not mathing. And she's trying to pretend that this is all just fake lies and all made up stuff and everyone is trying to attack her. But there's some issues that we need to dive into because this is connecting her to all of that fraud that's happening in Minnesota. Let's get into it.
If you look at this document, you could see it says assets and unearned income. If you look at the asset for 1 million to 5 million, the income is 5 to 15,000. If you look at the asset for 5 million to 25 million, it says none right there. Shit. Bye.
So in 2018, just 7 years ago, Elon Omar's net worth was negative $60,000. She was in debt. Completely normal for most Americans, right? But you fast forward to 2023, her financial disclosure shows that she got about $51,000 in combined assets. Again, pretty standard for a congresswoman that's just been in office for a few years. Then 2024 hits, and suddenly, and I cannot stress this enough, her financial disclosure shows assets worth between $6 million and $30 million.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Ooh, oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
This money supposedly came from, because it's two businesses, just two, both owned by her husband, Tim Minette. Business number one is the winery. That's the winery that her husband co-owns in Florida.
Her family is amazing at business because look at the way that her net worth has increased over just a single year. 2023, this was a business that was owned by her husband. The East Street Crew Winery. 2023, it was valued at a maximum of $50,000. 2024,
The question is how. Here's what we know. Omar's husband, a former political consultant, owns a venture capital firm.
And there you go, people. There you fucking go. Unfucking real. And I have a couple more. And this episode won't be too long because I do not want to talk about this shit anymore.
Investigation into Ilhan Omar's money laundering allegations has gone global. All right, I want to share with you that they are now investigating her and her husband and any financial dealings that they had in the likes of Kenya, Dubai, and Somalia. There's other countries in there as well, including South Africa. And this is what I suspected they needed to look into all along. Because we've talked about this, right? If it is true that this is really a money laundering operation, this sort of private, venture capital firm that the hubby has, Timmy Minette, if it was to be what we believed, which was possibly some kind of sham, and it's not just me. I mean, boy, Steve Forbes just tore to shreds when he came on the program just a couple of weeks ago. If this is some kind of front for something, then he wants a high valuation on that venture capital firm, which is why, he's saying, they're worth like some $30 million. He's putting very high valuations on that firm, even though it doesn't gel with what his partner said actually during the same exact year. I'll get to that. But the high valuation is designed so that if somebody wants to buy shares in that venture capital firm and have an interest in that business, he's got something to sort of point to and say, oh, well, it is worth this much. And the concern, of course, would be that people are buying shares in that venture capital firm so that they can possibly get access to something like Feeding Our Future. $250 million, right, went to Feeding Our Future right out of Ilhan's district. And she's the one that introduced that bill on the day that she, by the way, announced her marriage to Timmy Minette. Quite the timing. I kept saying it must have been an expensive wedding, right? But the fear is, the allegation is, that some of that money was making its way to offshore accounts. And so this is what's coming to fruition right now. The New York Post has done some pretty good reporting on this. I want to give them a plug here. They pointed out that the business partner was actually getting a $10,699 air ticket to Dubai after talks of a deal there. So Dubai came up. Apparently there was something about building solar panels in Africa. No wonder she was so upset about USAID. Remember the USAID thing? I mean, this woman, I suspect, these are my own allegations and intuition about her. I suspect she loved USAID because you could ride that one to the bank all day long. And then she loved this Feeding Our Future and all these various programs. I mean, the 34,000% autism spike in the state of Minnesota, and nobody blinked an eye. All of this being fraudulent money. It was like, let's take from Uncle Sam, and maybe we hide some of this all around the world. Uncle Sam, whether it be, let's take and from USAID, which is from the taxpayer, or let's take from the American taxpayer and pretend that we're giving it to feed kids in Minnesota. All of this is really disturbing. So I don't know if this is a picture of her in South Africa, but they were over there to do a deal in South Africa to build solar panels in South Africa. Good work if you can get it, right? Comer has been all over this from the beginning. His team is continuing to look into these investigations all over the world, as is our Treasury Department, you guys, as is our White House right now. So they're closing in. And again, it can't come fast enough for so many of us. But I want to go back to Comer, who's explaining why he initially had those thoughts that it might be a money laundering operation that she and her husband were really running.
Okay. That whole thing is a little long, so I'm not gonna like bore you with the details, but you kind of get the gist of it. And here is six.
That that's the marriage certificate for Omar to her brother. Who posted it? The White House. Yeah, she's probably not going to be here for a long time. If she's allowed to stay after the White House posted that, there's a bigger problem here in this country. They posted all the details of when he arrived, when they got married, everything. On top of all the fraud that she's allegedly involved in, it looks like they're a lot deeper into that investigation than they're letting us see. But her time is coming, and I'm here for it because we've been having this conversation so long, probably get close to a decade, if not more. Are you going to appreciate and celebrate if she gets deported? Yeah, me too. Hey,
Yeah, because she deserves it. Just like her with the fucking whole guy coming up to her and spraying her with goddamn apple cider vinegar, but she's all tough, so she's gonna, I'ma like fuck him up and da da da. Wouldn't you be more worried about what he sprayed on you? Because I've been like, take my ass to the hospital. Well, first I'm gonna fuck him up, but then take me to the hospital because I don't know what the fuck that shit is. And no, she didn't want to go. No, it was all like she knew what was going on, and it was just kind of really fucking weird. And then, oh, this guy's a Trump supporter, but you look at him and his family, and it's like, y'all are Trump supporters, really? Like, they look like a lip ass fucking family to me. But hey, anybody could be a supporter or whatever. And it was just crazy. And there is not one person that says that shit was not staged. Like, that shit was staged as fuck. And it was just like she looked up and looked at him. He happened to be right in the front row, and he came up just as she was saying the stuff about Kristi Noem, and it was just like timed perfectly. It was just so fucking weird, and I was like, "Nah, this is weird. This is really weird. I'm not buying it at all. Um, just not." So here's something else, and then we're gonna end this show.
Accusations of fraud against a business partly owned by Representative Omar's husband. Fox 9's Corn Hogger joins us now in the newsroom after digging into what's behind this legal fight. All right, Corn, what is Omar's connection to these accusations?
Darren, it's nothing directly. Her husband is Tim Minette, and his consulting firm legally got about $3 million from her 2020 campaign. Now he's a business partner in a few business ventures that are involved in lawsuits claiming his companies have made money disappear. In the case of Tim Minette, whose LinkedIn page shows he was a partner in the E Street Group along with Will Haler, there's no publicly known criminal investigation, but there may be something behind the scenes.
We have connected with federal law enforcement on this. I believe that they're looking into it as we speak.
Ned Horsted is the CEO of a South Dakota cannabis company that gave Haler and Minette's company $3.5 million to kickstart investments, but ended up with about $1.8 million back and a court judgment, an IOU for the other $1.7 million. Omar's office tells me she has no involvement in any business ventures, and the situation reeks of political desperation.
You have a two-person business, and one of them is a spouse of a member of Congress. It seems suspicious, to say the least, that they never knew about $3.5 million that came into the bank account. They never knew that 1.7 went missing.
Lawyers for Minette and Haler say they absolutely did not intend to defraud anyone in that cannabis business or in a winery deal that's also the subject of a civil lawsuit.
But accusation.
And that is all, folks. There is no more I can report on that other than she is a shiesty, crazy bitch, and we will soon see, I'm sure we will see more of her, and I'm sure I will be doing more of a podcast for her. But she wasn't worth a full hour because honestly, it's kind of a boring topic because it's just about her owing money to be like, having money, more money than she has, and the Somalian fraud. And we all know about that. And we all know that there's been multiple people convicted on the fraud that she claims has never happened. And we know she's a piece of shit. And we know that she's married her brother to get him to be an American citizen and all this kind of stuff. And we know that she didn't make $30 million in a year, and that's all bullshit too. So I mean, there's not really much to go on about at all. A 30-minute episode was just good enough for her. The next episode I'm gonna do will be worth the hour. So I'm gonna end.
Not nice with the fucking top up. Pop 'em. Scope on the nigga who shot ya. Drop them. Somebody call his fucking doctor. Think up in the pussy, bet that she get gushy gushy. She want the whole game, bustin' on little pussy. I watch her drip drip while I get my dick licked. Little sick bitch licking on my dick tip. She a freak hoe, fucker, she on beast mode.